Alright, so I've taken off the cover and you can now see the mechanism that it sits on, this little nub right here. You can hear all of that squeaking and a lot of room to move too. So something must be up with the plastic behind here. So this is interesting. So this doesn't make any noises. Those are the 3 screw holes that it went up against, and the mechanism where the screw holes go up against, it doesn't make any of that noise. But put this up in there and just move it around. It's the plastic running up against itself while it's flexing. Isn't that crazy? So it's just the plastic making that noise. Alright, so I figured out what the deal was. This little hook thing right here wiggles all around whenever you put it in. That hook goes into this hole right here, and it just sits up against that. So whenever this thing moves, that thing's just freely rubbing up around in there. So what I did is I got some, cabinet liner, and I'm going to put it right here for that hook to just be encapsulated with that liner, so that it. Alright, so that's in, and all I just got to do is screw it down. So you can look at this other side and you can kind of see the liner poking out just a little bit there. This was the worst offender, and it's now silent. I have not been able to get it to make any noises, and that is truly awesome. So bad design with this little hook thing and what it can rub up against. One interesting thing is this little guy right here. Whenever it's up right, it flips down. Whenever it's upright, it flips down, and whenever it's down, it goes. And that just prevents this thing from coming up and down, so that this little ledge here gets caught on this little guy. So that's kind of interesting, so that while you have it up, this thing doesn't flop down. Interesting. All right, so how do you get this off? What I did is basically tried to get it where you take off the back, the bottommost portion here, and you're just going to try to pull this way. Things that get in the way are this little guy right here. And it's got a hole that it goes into right here, and there's a hook. You can't see it very well. There's a tiny little hook in the center there that goes against this little tiny hook here. So what I had to do was pull this out to allow this to rotate up, and you had to press in the button to be able to allow it to come back out. So the installation, I'm guessing, is just really going to be the reverse of putting this on here, and then I'll do that and come back. Alright, to be able to get the cover back on, we have to take off this little button. So I've already taken this one off and reinstalled, and that allows you to put the cover directly on. So the cover will go on like this, much easier than whenever it came off. Just fits right on. So that button's in the way. Tried lots of different ways of trying to get this on, and the button's got to go. So you just have to remember which side went where. So maybe put the passenger side one in the passenger seat to help out with not accidentally putting the wrong button on the wrong side. These guys have an L and an R on to help you know where they go, and they really only fit one way. So take the button off. For me, what I ended up doing was I have some of these automotive door panel things. I pushed up on one side while I pushed the button in. I can't do this with one hand, and then it just popped right off. So put a little pressure on one side, push the little button in. There's 2 buttons on either side, but you really only need one to depress. All right, so with that done, put the cover on. This fits right in there nicely, easily. And then on the bottom side, so for me to get this off, I had to take the cup holder thing out. And so it was really just pull up from this back side, and then it just popped out. There's clips all around, these red clips that were holding the cup holder in. So anyway, on the back side here, this guy was locked in, so I just took my finger and pulled on this, and same thing on the other side, and that allowed me to pull this out after unscrewing these 2 screws on both sides. So when I pulled this guy out, that allowed me to take this cover off, kind of like in a fashion like this, and then out. But putting it back on without these buttons there, I can just push it right on in, let that little guy and this little guy lock in, and I'll let the back lock in. So it's not coming loose. I just need to screw down the screws and push, and then put in the buttons. All right, I've screwed in the screws. Just need to push in the buttons. So they go this way with the shorter side bottom, and then longer side and then top. It just pops right on in. And then the other side. Goes right on in. Close. Yay, no noise. Every single one of the Tundras at the dealership made this noise, and whenever I took it back in shortly after I got it and said, hey, makes a noise on this side, not on this side, they fiddled with it. They didn't open it or take it apart. They went out to the other Tundras that were on the lot, and they all made the noise on the driver's side and not the passenger side, and said, well, looks like it's a manufacturer defect, and handed me back the car. Who knows if they actually did anything, but looks like it's totally fixed. Yay.